Johnson is not stupid. He has a master's degree. He built a logistics company from scratch. He negotiates contracts worth millions. He understands cost, margins, port delays, payroll, and other business processes. But in January 2025, he wired 6.5 million naira, his entire business savings, to a private investment group he found on social media. 72 hours later, he refreshed the chart. The group was no longer available. The admin was gone. The testimonials were gone. And his money was gone. And here's the part most people don't understand. Johnson didn't think he was gambling. He thought he was surviving. If you want to understand how smart people get trapped and how to avoid it, subscribe now. Every week, we open a new case file and decode the game. With inflation rising, the naira weakening and cost increasing every month, mouth-watering deals don't feel like greed. They feel like relief. If you think this could never be you, that confidence is exactly where the trap begins, because the numbers tell a different story.
Menzgold, we're talking politicians, bankers, persons in the Ghana Police Service, in the military, in the entertainment industry. So it's not just people who are ignorant, but people who just invested in this company because they believed in the company. They didn't know that it was a Ponzi scheme.
In just the first quarter of 2025, Nigerians reportedly lost over 3 billion naira to fraud. Ghana recorded millions of cedis in online fraud losses in the same period. Kenya's banking fraud losses crossed millions of dollars, and South Africa continued to report billions of rands in financial crime annually. The victims weren't only the desperate. They were bankers, engineers, nurses abroad sending money home, civil servants, university students, people like Johnson. So, what's really happening? The uncomfortable truth is this: modern scams don't primarily target greed. They target pressure. They study economic stress. They monitor inflation. They understand currency weakness. They watch unemployment rise, and they design offers that feel less like risk and more like rescue. When your savings are losing value every month, a 30% return doesn't sound absurd. It sounds like a miracle. When you are under pressure, the brain prioritizes relief over skepticism. Hope becomes louder than caution. And once hope takes control, critical thinking disappears. Across Lagos, Nairobi, Accra, Johannesburg, the dream is similar. Break into the 1% of the 1%, own property, travel business class, give your children better schools than you had. For millions, that dream didn't end in comfort. It ended in debt, in shame, in broken families, and in some tragic cases, suicide notes and lives were lost. So, how did this cycle begin? Let's go back to 2016. Oil prices crashed. Recession spread. Inflation climbed. Then MMM arrived. A perfect timing. It didn't call itself an investment. It called itself mutual aid. You didn't invest, you provided help. 30 days later, you would get help with 30% extra.
Though I do not know the full meaning of MMM, but I know it's a platform where you pay money to someone's account, and then after 30 days or 29 days or something, somebody else will have to pay into your own account.
Early payouts hit accounts. Screenshots flooded WhatsApps. Church members testified. Respected community leaders endorsed it. Trust replaced doubt. Students joined with their school fees. Workers used salaries. And some people took loans. In December 13, 2016, all accounts were frozen. Panic spread. Rage followed, then silence.
Since MMM in 2016 till date, Nigerians have lost approximately 4.8 trillion naira to pyramid scheme or pyramid scam.
After MMM collapsed, other scams evolved. They stopped looking like schemes. They started looking like industries. In Kenya, it was Goldenscape, a greenhouse investment programs that offered agricultural returns. You could visit the farm and see real crops.
Victims say they were duped by Goldenscape greenhouses into investing hundreds of thousands and for some millions of shillings into what is now turning out to be a scam.
In Ghana, it was Menzgold, a gold trading firm that promised steady monthly profits.
You ask most people what Menzgold is, all they say is it's like DKM. They took people money and now they can't pay it back.
In Nigeria, Ovaiza grain storage program sounded practical. Buy low during harvest, sell high later.
This lady in question, Ovaiza, is accused of scamming hundreds of people's money, running into billions of naira.
They were all real concepts, real assets, but not enough real value to sustain the promised returns. The payouts came from new deposits. Then came the corporate era. In Nigeria, we had Chinmark, MBA Trading, CBEX. They had luxury offices, police escorts, they sponsor events, and you can see photos of their CEOs with politicians on pages of newspapers. Visibility became credibility, and we assumed visibility means regulation. But offices can be rented, escorts can be hired, wealth can be staged. Some of them promised 15% monthly returns through forex trading. Here's the reality. If 15% monthly returns were consistent and low risk, banks would be offering that. When these companies collapsed, investors rushed to their offices and found the doors locked. The buildings had been tethered. Then the scams upgraded. The tech wave arrived. Slicker, smarter, harder to question. In South Africa, they created Mirror Trading International, MTI. They collected massive amounts of Bitcoin, claiming automated profits every month. In Nigeria, Racksteady chose a different path. Theirs is digital marketing that promised passive income. They even enlisted celebrities like Davido to endorse the scheme. In smaller towns like KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, Bitcoin wallet programs promised to double your money in 15 days and branded it crypto investing. But 100% in 15 days is not investing. It's a bait. From all these schemes across Africa, billions have vanished. So why does the circle continue? Because in volatile economies, absurd returns don't feel absurd. They feel like a lifeline. When food prices double within months, when rent increases, when currency weakens, your brain starts searching for acceleration. Scammers understand this. They don't hunt instability, they hunt in volatility. In the gap between hardship and hope, calling victims greedy is lazy analysis. It ignores economic pressure, It ignores psychology. It ignores how sophisticated these scammers have become. But here is the other truth. There is no consistent 15% or 100% monthly return without significant risk. There is no farm that compounds wealth at marginal speed.
It's only pyramid scheme that promise more interest than IMF and World Bank put together in a month, sometimes in a week.
Real businesses struggle. Real wealth compounds slowly through diversification, risk management, and patience. High returns with little or no risk are not opportunities. They are red flags. If a company cannot clearly explain how value is created, be conscious. If payouts depend heavily on recruitment, just walk out. Until we understand that survivor anxiety, not greed, is the real entry point, this circle will repeat. The next scheme won't look like MMM. It will look like a real opportunity. The only edge you have is skepticism. This is O1 Hustle. We have decoded the game so you can win. Hit the subscribe button now.